We need to talk.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah, you can hear me. Sorry about that, guys. I got banned. No, I wasn't muted. It was a problem with the audio in OBS. I don't know why it was doing that. It just sometimes does shit like that. I hope the desktop works. Could you hear me double? Could you hear me double then? Hold on, you're going to hear me double. Yeah, the desktop works. I got banned on TikTok from live streaming. I was going to show you why, but I don't know how to get it up here. I got banned from going live because I got a strike from I got a strike for hate speech for saying that Israel was. You got banned. Yeah, I got a suspension. Don't say, oh my god. I told you, it's why I don't stream on TikTok. I had a load of viewers today. That's what my problem is. I go live and I got it was for. I don't know why I can't show you. So I submitted an appeal, but it won't get done. It's not. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was for. It's the problem with the platform. But also, it was just fucking like Destiny and Lonerbox fans just saying things in there, which I don't really get on here, even though I have a big audience. So, you know, what can you do? What can you do? And also, like, on here, people are much more supportive and it's much more sustainable, you know, like, financially and things, because, you know, people have been very kind thus far. And so, yeah, I'm greatly, greatly appreciative. But, yeah, let's just move on from that. I guess the main news is, as I said yesterday, I think America is going to join up so much. Made TikTok. I got banned for a photo of the boys. Really? Did you? I think it's just because TikTok caves to mass reporting. Like really easily, TikTok caves to mass reporting. Sorry. Also, I'm struggling with my wheeze. I think it's because I got the window open and it's blown some spiders' webs about. I never have the window open. Yeah. TikTok does just ban for no fucking reason, and that's where the problems lie with the fucking platform. But yeah, it was just either his mic isn't working or he's not or isn't reading chat. I was reading chat. I was just trying to get my mic working. Can you hear me now? Really easily. Yeah, you can hear me and it's fine. Their parents only let them have YouTube Kids, so no YouTube streams for them. I mean, I'll also just show you. I'll show you again. I'll show you. Listen, I did the butcher. Sorry, you just heard. That's not me. But to clarify, that is not what I'm not playing or listening to that. That just came up as the first video on TikTok. I'll show you what the problem with TikTok is. Right, so we'll just go on Instagram quickly. I'm not logged into my actual Instagram account, but I'll show you. I'll show you the video I made last night. So if any of you are interested in my short form or seeing more videos from me, you could go follow my Instagram. It's also not the PC, it's also the fan, which I'll just turn a bit so that'll help me. Real talk, after the debacle with TikTok ban, they changed a bunch of policies internally. I can show you why they changed it. I can show you what they changed. I keep meaning to make a video about this. Charlie Kirk literally spoke about it. There is clear evidence.
This idea hey,
listen to this. This is
TikTok is in a place where they don't want to get banned with an incoming administration. Let's send out a tweet saying, hey guys, let's do one more chance. If you treat us fairly, we'll become TikTok's biggest right-wing fan.
There you go. There's literally the answer. They manipulated the algorithm to boost Charlie Kirk videos during the election, and since then they've done it.
Right? And I will and they reached out and they were great. They said, here are our rules. We will transparently enforce them. Again, they're very, very sensitive if you talk about trans stuff. It's like incredibly, right? Even if you do it diplomatically. And we said, great. So again, this is all transparent. It's all public. There's no like backroom deal. And so we started posting my old college discussions there because I've been doing this for 12 years where we just have open dialogues. And we started to get 5 million views a day.
There you go. He openly admits it. I don't really... So anyway, this is my video. So it has 4,000 likes on a platform where I nearly have 400,000 followers. Okay? Then let's go on Instagram. Oh, wait, I already have my Instagram open. But yeah, there you go. There's literally him admitting it, that they collaborated with the US government to manipulate the algorithm. On this platform, I have 100,000 followers. Meta is notorious for hiring literal Zionists, has so many Zionists. And, yeah, here you go. This video has 18,000 likes. I don't know how you see how many views it has, but yeah. Anyway, it's insane. It's genuinely an insane platform, like how it works. When that video I made the other day went viral, random videos from years ago got removed and I got strikes from my account, and then they lowered my RPM. Oh yeah, 100%. Like my RPM on TikTok, I can show you. I actually can't show you. So it kind of looks like the... but like months ago, a couple of weeks ago, I did 2 million views in a week and I got paid like $100 for that. Like, that's insane. Like, that's insane. I don't get paid any money for the platform. It's really funny. It's a really funny platform, you know, is all I've got to say about that. But yeah, fuck it. What can you do? What can you do? This is the world in which we live, where a platform that you poured... I kind of explained it at the start. I poured so much time into TikTok, and it's just a waste of fucking time. I was invited. It's a waste of time as well. Oh my god, sorry. Fucking out. Oh god, I bet that fucking penetrated all your eardrums. I bet some of you are suffering with perforated eardrums now. Very sorry about that. I'll turn off TikTok so it doesn't do it again. But yeah, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's just, you know, you'd expect this platform that censors content heavier would not be doing this kind of stuff. Like, I look at, like, different videos on here that do really well and videos on fucking TikTok that do horribly. I didn't need to hear anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was just kind of standard. I mean, I guess what I wanted to talk about, the main thing I wanted to talk about today is America. So here's a video of JD Vance saying some shit.
Said is so perfect about this. I think he gets to define America first because he's the person who ran, who was elected, and who actually leads this movement. And for all of the online chatter, what I see, and I've seen it very privately, of course, and I've seen it very publicly, the president is very focused on a core American national interest. And that national interest is the state of Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. So
by the way, this just also is not at all what it's about. It's so America can continue to dominate the Middle East without any challenge, because whatever fucking Iran is up to, what they're fucking terrified of is any challenge to what's happening in the Middle East.
So how long do you give diplomacy a chance to work before it's time to drop a bunker buster?
Look, the president has to answer that question, right? And I think that what he said is he's going to pursue diplomacy until he thinks that there isn't an opportunity. And once he decides that diplomacy has completely run its course, that we're not going to get anything out of additional talks, then I think the president is going to do what he needs to do to end Iranian enrichment and end that Iranian nuclear program. Again, the president will make that final decision. I do think that we're...
My wife is about to unalive a baby. I mean, what does that mean, midday meds? I'm not sure what you're actually saying there.
Running out of time. But as the president said yesterday, he wants to give it a little bit more time to see what diplomacy can accomplish.
I saw someone framing this very differently, and I'm inclined to agree with them. That's a very weird place to pause, by the way. But anyway, I think, and I tend to agree with this, I think they're actually only doing this to basically allow troop build-up in the Middle East. I think that that's actually what it is.
Obviously, a lot of people in President Trump's ear giving him advice.
Sure.
Whether it's the military, his cabinet, you yourself. What advice are you giving him?
The advice that I'm giving him is, sir, trust your instincts. He's got the best instincts of any president I've ever seen, of any political leader that I've ever seen. I think that he knows...
Shout out A. I hope that one day you're free from the yoke of Israeli imperialism.
When
oh yeah, also reminder, the Discord is available to join.
Diplomacy has run its course, and he'll know when ultimately he has to employ the American military to make sure that Iran doesn't have a nuclear program.
You said you think we're...
So it's not. It's just they can't have a nuclear program, right? Okay.
running out of time. The president says he wants to take about 2 weeks to think about it.
Decanyon, thank you so much for that incredibly kind having 10 memberships. Shout out to all the lucky people. I will be doing a members only live stream at some point over the coming weeks, but yeah, and also a Q&A. So yeah, but that won't be members only. We'll just have like the Q&A at the start of a video. You can ask me questions, and I'll do pure questions.
Is that within your range?
Well, I think as the president said, he's not going to tell anybody exactly when or what he's going to do. He's going to continue working this process. He's going to let the diplomatic process unfold. And in the meantime, of course, the president of the United States can do whatever he needs to do, whenever he needs to do it to keep the American people safe.
Also, I have a bit of an announcement for the stream. None of you, everyone in here should. I don't know if anyone's been sharing it, but there's some fucking song called like Boom Boom Tel Aviv or something. Don't listen to it. It's made by a fucking neo-Nazi with AI. So that's a little update for you. If you want to listen to a song, listen to Udrub Tel Aviv, please. And yeah, shout out Hyper J for making the Discord, and thank you for everyone who's supported, who gifts, who donates. All of it is really important for establishing it. But yeah, don't listen to that Boom Boom Tel Aviv. It's made by Lucas Gage. Like, honestly, it's literally made by a neo-Nazi. Like, listening to it supports him, and it is made by AI as well, I'm pretty sure. I have the account muted and blocked, so yeah, I can't see it. But like, Lucas Gage is here you go. This is the guy. Lucas Gage made it. He is a Nazi. I'm pretty confident. Oh, I'm not confident. There you go. Here's a little page about him. Yeah, I saw people mentioning it. I assume that some people just didn't know. But he's an Italian-American neo-Nazi and former chairman of the National Youth Front, a white nationalist group. He doesn't give a fuck about Palestine. He doesn't give a fuck. He literally... People like him just use it to whitewash their images. And also attended by Suleiman Ahmed. I mean, that guy's a fucker as well. Yeah, that guy's a fucker who just spreads misinformation. I mean, the reason I'm saying... Treasure Troves, I'm 1 month old. Thank you so much. I know that there's something that I needed to get back to you on, but I assume that you were driving, so I didn't get back to you. Setting up Nightbot in the chat. We will set up a bot and things like that. You can maybe help me with some other things. But yeah, he's a far-right influencer who's a horrendous guy. I mean, I don't like the ADL, the Apartheid Defense League. Hi, Christopher. Hello to you too. Dauros the Deity, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for all of you who become members. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for all supporting the chat. Although YouTube does take a huge cut of membership, because how much does it cost you to become a member? Hold on, let me have a look at this membership thing. Oh wait, no, I don't think I have 260. That lady on the viewers, so I'm not sure. Someone was just commenting on my other video. There is someone who is watching and commenting on a VOD right now, and it's like, hey, I'm actually live. But Daros, yes. I think it was saying higher than 60-40 for me, but I think that that's actually just a lie. I think it might just be a lie here. But who knows anyway. Any support is greatly appreciated, like people supporting on this. I will set up a Patreon though. Once I'm back from Ireland over the next few days, I'm going to be back to YouTube video making. I've got a couple of ideas cooked up, so yeah, it's annoying that I'm away. It's literally like the worst time to be away, you know, the worst time to be busy and stuff. But yeah. Hello from across the pond. Hello. Double sending the new Discord link. I do want to pin it, and I forgot to do that. So thank you very much, HyperJ, for spamming. Well, you're not really spamming. You're just being helpful. So thank you for doing that. It's greatly appreciated. I guess I could fiddle. Apparently, I have 114 members currently, so that's great. And we will do a members-only live stream. That's unbelievable. Like how much I've grown in such a short period. YouTube membership in it. Brit going to Ireland, that famously always go well. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Did you make a game, Terra Trove Tales? What was the game you made? But yeah, so just that's my comment on Boom Boom Tel Aviv. If you want to listen to something, listen to Palestinian-owned music, listen to Udrub Tel Aviv, strike a blow on Tel Aviv if you need to listen to any music that you wish to listen to. I can't endorse that, but if you're wishing to listen to it, don't support white nationalist extremists. So yeah, I'm just double checking and seeing if there's anything that I wanted to.
This is coming from the Israeli.
Oh wow, this is Sky News breaking news.
This is coming from the Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Saar. He says that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard.
I'm going to Dublin, and then we're going around different bits of Ireland. Hello from Hague, Chris. Black helicopters flying around the city all morning. Soldiers asking people for papers. Please, passports. Free Palestine. Mad.
Corps, the terror arm of the Iranian
What's your opinion on Muslim gauze? I have no idea what that is.
regime, tried to carry out an attack on Israeli citizens in Cyprus. He goes on to say, thanks to the...
I am actually 100% sure that Israel's striking of... I'm actually 100% sure that Israel struck the Al Ahli Baptist Hospital. I'm watching from Iraq and my relatives are in Qum. Your videos are very much informative. Thank you very much. I'm sorry what America and my country did to your country, but, you know, one day we'll collapse, hopefully. And it will all be better, and we'll live in a more free and just world where people aren't massacred and bombed in such heinous and horrendous ways.
Activity of the Cypriot security authorities in cooperation with Israeli security services, the terror attack was thwarted. Israel thanks.
So what's going on in Cyprus then? I haven't even seen anything about this. Oh wait, this doesn't seem to be the same thing. It seems to be there was a planned attack on a British base. Hold on, I've just got to get through. The Telegraph, I'm sure this is reputable, reliable analysis. I've officially joined the Crustaceanship. Well done, well done. What is happening in The Hague? Is that normal? I'm not 100% sure. I'm watching while doing my makeup for some reason. It's relaxing to hear you yell about stuff. Thank you. Yeah, it's also not just... I mean... do you want to come up north and babysit for me? I don't know if I will be up north. I think we're only there for a short period and we've got a lot to do, so unfortunately I don't think I'll be able to do much, but perhaps one day I'll come up and babysit. I'm assuming you mean your cats, right? Yeah, not a British base. Somebody think of the British bases. Somebody think of the poor British bases. A suspected Iranian spy has been arrested. Sorry, I'm stuttering a lot today. No VVVBBBBC. Thank you for that comment, Trap Jakers. A suspected Iranian spy has been arrested. Also, I think one thing I will eventually use the Discord for is like bringing someone up if they want to do a debate, so I don't have to call them and like add them personally because I don't want to do that. Crustaceanship. Yes, crustaceanship. A suspected Iranian spy has been arrested. The man, who is of Azerbaijani descent, is alleged to have links to Iran's powerful IRGC. According to reports, Cypriot authorities confirmed on Saturday that they had arrested the unidentified man on suspicion of espionage and terror-related offences. He allegedly had Britain's Akrotiri base, home to the RAF's... He allegedly had Britain's Akrotiri and Cyprus's own Andreas Papadonou airbase under surveillance since mid-April. Okay, fucking doing genocide, like... A lot of anti-British based bigotry. I think I agree with you there. Lots of people being hateful towards the British bases, you know. Yes, Azerbaijan. The country's counter-terrorism unit received information from a foreign intelligence service that he was planning an immediate terrorist attack. Channel 12 reports. He was arrested in the Zakaki suburb of the coastal city of Limassol, just 6 miles from the British base. Do you think he was just doing Palestine action there and that was the problem? He was the suspected spy was seen walking near RAF Akrotiri almost daily, carrying a camera with a magnifying lens and 3 mobile phones. Philalethteros, Cyprus's largest newspaper, reported. He is said to have been taking photos with a long lens camera as well as phones using other electronic devices. The individual appeared before a district court in a closed hearing. So that must be what it is? I don't know. Let's check Israel's foreign ministry. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? The world is awful. I'm about to go cover the adoption fees of 2 senior animals at my local humane society. I can't adopt, so I'm going to make it easier for someone else to. That is very nice. Thank you. That's a very kind thing to do, Amanda Jo. By near, do they also mean 6... Who actually knows, John? Who knows, John, what they're actually talking about, honestly? And I mean, also, like, why is the US... Why do we have bases in a country where we fly flights over a genocidal regime?
There's another update.
Oh, there's another update as well.
Oh, well, there is another update, some more breaking news, this time concerning a British man who has been arrested on suspicion of espionage and terrorism offences in Cyprus. This coming to us from the Press Association.
I assume that this is Palestine Action stuff.
Who say the man is reported to have kept the RAF Akrotiri base on the island under surveillance and is alleged to have links with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard.
Yeah, tourists famously love taking photos of RAF bases. He was on holiday, bro.
Corps, according to local media, RAF Akrotiri, the main British base on Cyprus. A Foreign Office spokesperson saying we're in contact with the authorities in Cyprus regarding the arrest of a British man.
Ooh.
RAF Akrotiri is the UK's most important airbase for operations in the Middle East. He is alleged to have lived in a flat in Limassol, close to Akrotiri, was observed near the base carrying a camera with a long lens and 3 mobile phones. Local reports suggest he was Azerbaijani, but the UK Foreign Office saying they were working with the authorities over the arrest of a Briton. So some breaking news in the last few
So what,
moments.
is this a different person?
British man has been arrested on suspicion of espionage and terrorism offences in Cyprus at the RAF base there. We'll keep across that story for you, of course.
Okay, so pretty unclear what's going on there. Let's now have a listen to this.
Coming on the programme. You say that you are breaking the chains of oppression. Who for, sir? Hi.
Well, in defense of Palestinian people, the British military is directly involved in the genocide in Gaza and the genocide of Palestinians in general. And Palestine Action is materially breaking the supply chain.
Yeah, Cyprus is so boring that the only thing you can do is just take photos of military bases to pass the time.
And Britain's involvement.
Is that to break the chains of oppression for everyone in Gaza, in the West Bank, including Hamas?
God, this fucking radio show is dog shit. Yeah, fucking people in Hamas are still victims of Israeli apartheid and Israeli oppression. Any member of Hamas is.
Well, this has nothing to do with Hamas. We're talking.
But like, just bringing it up there is like just utterly fucking ridiculous. Of course, these are people who live there. Like, whatever you're doing, it's not necessarily like fighting for Hamas, but of course that's how they need to frame it.
About the people of Gaza. The genocide is against the people of Gaza. Britain is directly involved in the genocide. And I think, from my opinion, this is one of the boldest, bravest acts of direct action
He's 100% correct about
I've
this.
ever seen.
The RAF drop aid into Gaza.
The RAF drop aid into Gaza, aid which categorically kills people, aid which categorically, undeniably has led to the deaths of people when they were dropping it even.
The UN has said that these aid drops, not just by the UK, by the way, by other countries, including Jordan, the US, are tiny blips in the overall demand. You can quote the numbers of 53 tons.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you motherfuckers better get liking the fucking stream. That's all I'm saying. I'm also just going to post that I'm live on my Instagram. But I want to see the likes going up. No, it was intentional, the mute.
how many tons of aid are required to save the people of Gaza from starvation? We're
Well,
talking.
I would suggest it's better for the British military to be involved in the dropping of some aid, in this case 53 tons on 6 flights, than none, wouldn't you?
So you think it's legitimate for the British military to be
Also, just what he's saying is like, I don't give a fuck about them dropping tiny amounts of aid when we refuse to do anything about Israel. Like, if we refuse to do anything about Israel, like, who cares? Dropping aid whilst you have people who are intentionally starving and denying, you know, basic necessities to all these people is utterly fucking ridiculous.
involved in a genocide and then provide aid for the people
Hello, Sophie. Smash that like
who
indeed.
survive? Not at all.
It depends, I guess, on your definition of genocide.
It depends on an international. It's not my
Yeah.
definition.
No.
Definition of people, including UN experts.
Michelle, then you will never ever like the stream. The moustache is forever.
So.
Right. What specific evidence is there to say that the UK has been involved in potential commission of war crime?
What? Also, by the way, on this fucking topic, there's a mad thing that's going completely underreported. Completely underreported. So, I don't know if any of you saw this, but the EU launched a review of, like, Israel's obligations and its, like, how well it's adhering. And this is mad. They have, like, 30 points of... EU review concluded that Israel is in breach of its obligations under Article 2. So these are the things. Duty to investigate and prosecute grave breaches of international humanitarian law. Freedom from arbitrary or unlawful interference with one's private property, family and home. By the way, Hila Klein participated in this. Like, just to note this. Hila Klein did actually participate in this. I don't know if there's a good thing to read about the Mufti, but Joseph Mossad has written about it, and I've mentioned it in one of my videos. The Mufti is inflated to be like the evil of all evils. Like, yeah, he wasn't a great guy. He was appointed by the British, and the British literally thanked him for helping to host calming sermons during the Arab Revolt at one point. But yeah, okay, Palestinians and Jewish history, recognition or submission. This is sorry. You can read that. You can read that if you want. But yeah, here you go. GC 4. I assume that's Geneva Convention, Article 4. Humane treatment, medical attention, relations with exterior transfer, death. Principles of distinction, precautions and proportionality, protection of medical infrastructures, rules on occupation, transfer of population, obligation to provide, facilitate the entry and distribution of aid, obligation to take measures to restore and ensure as far as possible public order and safety, obligation to treat civilians humanely, principles of distinction, proportionality and precautions in attack, prohibition of attacks targeting civilians, prohibition of discrimination, prohibition of mass forcible transfers, prohibition of racial segregation and apartheid, prohibition of torture and cruelty. By the way, loads of these aren't even past attacks on the Gaza Strip. No, sorry, there's just... Hold on, I'm going to mute it. Oh, the fucking bells are going so loud. Can you hear them really badly? Hold on. Dropping it even.
The UN has said
You could go from the Gaza Strip. No, sorry, there's just... Hold on, I'm going to mute it. Okay, yeah, I'll leave it on. I'll leave it on. Okay, right. Protection and safety of persons with disabilities. Protection of minors in detention. Right of children affected by armed conflict to protection and care. Right of persons with disabilities to protection and safety in situations of risk. You can literally just go down. There's like 30 plus violations of it, and it's like the idea that, you know, we should have anything to do with this country is utterly ridiculous.
If the government is saying that they abide by international law in their processes around this.
there is no way in which the UK is complying with international law. I mean, if you look at their restrictions on weapons sales, it's an absolute joke. It doesn't stand up to even the slightest bit of scrutiny. That if you believe the production of weapons in this country, the delivery of weapons, the cooperation with the Israeli Air Force, and through everything you've seen over the past 18 months in Gaza, to be able to say that you don't think they're complicit, in fact, actively active.
Oh, they're definitely active. They're definitely active. There's no doubt the RAF is active.
Yeah, in the commission of war crime.
Yeah, 100%. Like, this guy sat here and he's like,
well, they're definitely active. Well, they're definitely active. They're definitely active.
and it's just like, yeah. It's no wonder we're banning Palestine Action, because they're actually having an effect. That's the truth of it. Palestine Action are able to shut down Israeli weapons factories, and so there you have it, you know. There you have it. There you have it. Like, they don't want it there because they don't want it because they're able to do something about what Israel is doing, and to slow the Israeli war machine to some extent, and so they don't want it happening. They don't want it happening. Simple as. They want us to live in a world where we have to support the state of Israel, and organizations like LBC are happy with that, where we all have to just allow Israel to do genocide, and anyone who stands against it is immoral. The Grand Mufti sounds like a nickname for your moustache. I probably wouldn't say that, because it makes it sound like, you know how Zionists feel about the Grand Mufti. They'll tell you he's literally Hitler.
Mohammed Al-Darbi.
I just wanted to watch this video because I started watching it earlier. But hold on. Palestine Action are being called terrorist on every subreddit on Reddit. Yeah, I mean, I think Reddit is... I've heard Hassan say this. I tend to agree with him. Reddit is a very much AstroTurf platform. It is a platform that is basically just constantly justifying what Israel does. I know that there are some better subreddits. I caught Chris 2 days in a row. Awesome food. I hope that you enjoy your time. I'll be live for probably about another hour, an hour and a half, maybe 2. I hate how they're calling it a famine. It is not a famine. It is on purpose. Yeah, I mean, I guess like Sinead O'Connor said, okay, I want to talk about the famine, how there really was no famine. I mean, there is no famine in Gaza. Like, it's not something that's happened natural. There's a campaign of starvation, I suppose the term applies. This is also a funny thing on it. This person posted it. I think he wanted to put, let's not forget that in 2004, Keir Starmer defended a man who broke into an RAF base and tried to set fire to British aircraft. Starmer argued his actions were legal because they were to stop an illegal war. The defendants are jointly indicted with conspiring together contrary to Section 1 of the Criminal Law Act 1977 on 13th of March 2003 to cause criminal damage. At about 9:45 on that day, the defendants were discovered together by a senior US Air Force airman in the secure fuel installation complex inside the perimeter fence of RAF Fairford, which is, you know, one of the most important air bases because I believe America can bomb the rest of the world from it. It's in the UK. It's actually in the southwest. I've seen it. Which was at the time a 24-hour operational military base, a NATO standby base, as well as being home to allied US visiting forces. They were in possession of tools which enabled them to enter. So basically it's just talking about this. Like, it's not terrorism. It's not terrorism at fucking all. It's not terrorism at all.
He is 12 years old. He has a message for the world.
يعطيك العافية. احنا عندنا في غزة في شطين، احنا 24 ساعة كل يوم بيقولوا لنا في مقاطير واحنا بنروح ما بنلاقيش المقاطير، احنا الرجل هذا ناكل في الشكل عندنا بدنا طعيم.
It's just so utterly perverse that, like, on the one hand, you have, like, fucking dogs in media, in British media, still going, like, yeah, Palestine Action are the people we should be going after. They're the evil terrorists. Their organisation should be prescribed. But you can literally go out on the weekend and protest in favour of this. Like, you can go out and you can protest and go, Israel, Hamas are terrorists, free the hostages. And you aren't actually protesting those things. You are protesting in favour of genocide. And I know that may sound like a pretty perverse thing to say, because in the sense of, like, people going, well, all pro-Palestine protests are pro-Hamas and all of these things. But it's just not true. Non-credible defence has a huge pro-Israel bias. I've never heard of that. Thank you for your donation, as always, Mr. Nemo.
Mohammed walked 8 hours with his father to a flour distribution point in Gaza City. He finally collected 2 kilos of flour, but thieves attacked him and stole it.
Thieves backed by Israel. Oh, sorry, my camera's blocking the subtitles. Thieves backed by Israel. Thieves backed by Israel. Like, this is just so fucking sadistically evil, you know? And, like, you can go and protest in favour of this every weekend, and yet I'm meant to believe that Palestine Action is the issue? We live in a perverse authoritarian shithole in this country where supporting genocide is legal, awesome and okay, but somehow, like, protesting against it is still being questioned, and people like Greta Thunberg are demonized, you know?
He says, I saw the journalist filming and I asked him to pass on my message to the world that I was robbed and I ate sand because I had no flour and I was so depressed. Mohammed's mother says she uses old dried bread used for animal feed, soaks it with water and bakes it over and over to feed her children. His father says people are killing each other over a bag of flour. 5 or 6 individuals attack each other because people want to eat, and they have become monsters due to the lack of food. Mohammed and his family only...
Yeah, like, this is also the thing. It's just so degrading and despicable.
2 of tens of thousands of starved Palestinians risking their lives to feed their families. Dozens.
And I want you to remember how many people have made, like, pro-Israel content, who have said anything which has sought to undermine what pro-Palestinians are saying. They're all supporters of this bullshit.
Have been killed by Israeli fire this week as they waited for aid. Hundreds since Israel lifted an 11-week blockade on Gaza in late May, allowing a trickle of aid in, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. The Israeli military says it operates to minimize harm to those seeking aid while maintaining the safety of its troops. The United Nations warns the entire population of Gaza, more than 2 million people, face impending famine without a drastic increase in aid. Paula Hancock's CNN.
People are, yeah, I can link the video if you want. Here's Andreas Krieg talking about it. That's a link to his tweet, but it's just there. You can be a power gay in opposition as we witnessed. Yeah. And here are the scenes from London today. Like, these are the people who are, like, protesting, like, just these weirdos. Why is it also so quiet? There's also fuck all people there. And there, if you want to see, there's a guy that he'll... Oh, no, that's not him. So, the 14-second delay. Big competition on today. Yeah, I don't know. I can't hear this either. I genuinely don't know what's wrong with that video. But, like, there was a huge pro-Palestine protest, and we've been told that one is a hate march, and the others are, like, acceptable, normal, moral, like, justified people, and it's just so utterly fucking ridiculous. So utterly ridiculous. That this is the world that we live in, you know. And here's the statement from David fucking Lammy. Oh, actually, wait. I wanted to talk about this first. The 1979 had more popular participation than the French and Russian Revolution. It's insane. Yeah, but, like, the way it went, I'm sure that not everyone is necessarily happy with. But, like, yeah, external regime change won't do all of these things. It's hard for the good. We must overcome our nature. I'm not sure I believe in this whole nature thing. I think that people who talk so much about nature when we've lived under a capitalist society where we're bombarded to act and behave in a certain way, where the social demand is accumulate and prioritize profit over everything else, I think that has to be factored in as seen as... sorry, I better close this. And seen as very important, you know. There's no good or bad, just people. I think that people protesting in favour of Israel are pretty fucking bad, you know. I think that they are pretty bad and immoral. Also, I've just noticed something that's pretty weird. Apparently there's 430 people in here, but only 153 likes. Nah, it's good and bad, but the man with the gun decides... Yeah, true. I mean, the person who's in... It's not even just the gun. It's the... I guess it's the legitimacy of the violence. Yeah. Yeah, you can put it back on the speed. Double speed if you wanted to. Yeah, I suppose that they're not inherently either way, that we're all contradicted beings. I don't think we're ever identical with just being completely bad or completely good. I think you're right about that. But this is Sharon Nadim, who is a global rep center, works at these things, or has worked with and at. Yeah, and you're right about the Great March of Return. People try and make outrageous claims. Well done about liking. You're doing your duty. You will not be piked in response if you like up the stream. Hunger is nature, not war. Hunger is indeed nature. Like being hungry and the way it makes us behave is very much not nature. It is not war. Right. There isn't really a media outlet that keeps a running account of the number of Palestinians killed at aid distribution centers operated by the IOF, an American-run Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. This thread tracks the massacres at the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation since it launched on the 27th of May. I use both media reports, announcements from international aid orgs, and releases from Gaza. So this is just explaining her thing. 337 Palestinians killed as of June 16th, 2025. 2,649. That's also worth noting, you know. Seeking aid at 4 Gaza Humanitarian Foundation distribution centres mapped below. International aid orgs have criticised the centre locations as it forces people to travel to them. Just look at this. Just look at this. Exactly. Thanks for what you're doing, Chris, for the plight of the Palestinians. Thank you, Jesper. And I think you're right about that. I think community and public is an incredibly important thing. I think that that's what the US government is actively working to destroy, like this concept of a united public altogether, of people who, you know, have public spaces that they can enjoy, public meeting points. And the US wants us to live with like no social security nets, and to How do you just take a person's house? Indeed. Biggest Dutch left-wing party had a Congress and overwhelmingly voted for weapons embargo in Israel. Big changes from the previous stance in neopolitics. That is very interesting. I just hope it translates to something, because so far EU countries, like, there's no argument about it. There was never any argument. No Western country who says that they support a Palestinian state, that they support a Palestinian state, that they like believe in Palestinians having human rights, that they believe in international law. None of these people should have any relationship. Israel illegally occupies the West Bank, but yeah, we just have to accept that that's okay. You know, we just have to accept that these are like justified and moral things. As of June, here's she's talking about it. 3 people were killed by the head with the head of UNRWA, not by the head of UNRWA, decrying the US-backed delivery model as a distraction from atrocities. 46 people were injured, and at least 7 people were reported missing. So that's the first day. Like, on the first day, you have people being killed. 10 killed and 89 injured, most of them at the warehouse in central Gaza, as thousands of Palestinians rushed through the fencing. GHF lost control of the site, with IOF troops firing shots. They denied any casualties. Over 30 people were killed and over 200 wounded when IOF started firing at large crowds near a GHF centre in Rafah. The military denied this, while the head of UNRWA announced the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, saying aid distribution has become a death trap. Thank you, Hot Dog Time. Thank you. International law does mean absolutely nothing without enforcement. You are 100% correct about that. 2 people, a father and a 12-year-old son, were killed. More than 20 people were killed on June 2nd, 122 wounded. IOF initially said it was unaware of any injuries from Israeli fire, but a military official later confirmed that troops had fired warning shots towards suspects. GHF denied any involvement. Right. Like, yeah, why do we have relationships with an occupying force who actively works to destroy Palestinian existence? Like, why do you have any relationship with this country? Like, why do you have any relationship? There's no justification or explanation. It's not October the 7th that changed this. Israel has always been this way. It is a despicable, genocidal settler colony. That is really all it boils down to. Like, that is what Israel is. Israel, I'd 100% back the natives if they took back America, though. Despite hating Israel, I'd 100% back the natives. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the natives would have a relationship with Israel. The indigenous people there would want to actually have a relationship with Israel. You find a small amount of indigenous people who are willing to say, like, I love Israel, but it's a really minor amount. Most people from, like, these places are very well aware that Israel is an extension of American colonialism and general colonialism, an expression of settler colonialism. Oh my god. Sorry, I think I've just found the worst video imaginable.
If If I was sitting one-on-one with an Iranian citizen, this is what I would say.
To my Iranian friends, we are with you. We want peace.
The war is not with you guys, it's with the regime.
You're British! You are British!
We live only once, so choose the good life.
We all stand behind you here and...
We all stand behind you here by bombing you. We all stand behind here by bombing you.
Hope that at the end of the day, we can have a direct flight from here to Tehran.
I hope that one day we can get lunch in Tel Aviv.
Why are they all American? Why are they all American and fucking British? I hope that one day we can have a burger in Tel Aviv, y'all. I hope that we can have a burger in Tel Aviv with you Iranians, with you Persians. Oh my god, did any of you see that Ethan Klein? Ethan Klein, I stand with Persians. Here it is. Here it is. This is such a funny post. I standing with the great people of Persia. Ethan Klein standing with the great people of Persia. And also, like, these people who are like, we stand with fucking Persia. Israelis and Iranians have always been friends. It's like, what the fuck are you fucking talking about? Like, how long has Israel existed? Not very long. It is a settler colonial project. Iranians felt animosity towards the British when they colonized them. So no doubt there was large animosity towards the British when they set up a settler colony. I standing with the people of Persia.
We want you to have what this is, which is freedom.
We want you to have what this is, which is this person looks like British Sheila Klein.
Peace, democracy, and hopefully you will get that very soon.
Hopefully you will get that very soon. You will have freedom and democracy where certain people are denigrated on the basis of their race.
We love you and we want peace.
She's French.
Make another one, 2025. Make another revolution in your country and become peaceful, become freedom.
Become peaceful, become freedom.
Become free country. I admire you.
My parents are both born in Iran.
This guy hasn't, I mean, maybe I have an oddly shaped head, but this guy has a bizarre head shape.
It's not
he actually really does look like an egg.
This is a war on you. This is a war against the Iranian regime.
I hope that one day we all can live together in peace like the old days.
Stop with the violence, stop with the hate.
Stop with the violence, stop with the hate.
They will all be free and proud to be under the same sun. Sing a song of freedom like one day.
In Mayville, oh Jesus Christ, oh God, like Jesus Christ, like oh fucking hell. I wonder if Corey Gill Schuster has been interviewing Israelis about this. I've accidentally got Ynet. No,
So, in
he's got
terms of...
He's got a video here about asking Israelis about settlements. Let's have a look. Why do they all look like eugenics projects? I mean, interesting. Laptop taking off. Indeed, it's a computer. Help! My laptop is burning my legs. Everyone needs to donate now because my laptop is burning my legs. And a lack of donations could literally lead to me losing my legs and I won't be able to stream. That's what you guys have done to me by failing to donate.
If the Israeli government expanded settlements, even during the peace process, how can you say it wanted peace, that Israel wants peace?
I think in general we want to live in peace and we want to live a quiet and successful life. But okay. Generally myself, I don't believe in the occupation and I think it's wrong. I think we should...
it's war?
It's wrong.
Wrong.
I think we should have a two-state solution.
Oh, you're the one. Okay.
I don't actually have a laptop that's burning my legs. I'm joking.
But did you see the contradiction between settlements and... Okay. So how would you answer to people?
How do I answer? I think that's what I believe. I believe in two-state solution. I believe we should have...
But also, like, how can you say you believe in a two-state solution? Likud wins over and over again in Israeli elections. It's really been the dominant force since 1992, really. The moustache has a right to defend itself. Thank you, Elegance. Thank you. You have just made a swift move towards. You have just made a swift move towards me actually growing up with legs. Can we discuss the moustache? Don't unmod me, please. No, you can't, and you will be unmodded and then taken to the dungeons. I've just started watching Game of Thrones, so yeah. I've been thinking a lot about taking some of you to the dungeons, but thank you both for donating.
And hopefully it would be an open border, but if not, then just a two-state solution, then that's it.
הישראלים רוצים שלום, נכון?
נכון, בהחלט.
אוקיי. איך אתה יכול להגיד את זה שכל פעם שיש תהליך שלום הם בונים התנחלויות?
אני חושב שחלק מהביטחון המדינה הוא להגן על הגבולות שלה. והתיישבות על הגבולות בהתנחלויות הם...
There you go. Here's a guy saying Israelis want peace by taking other people's land. An insanely aggressive thing to say. Name a time in history where people taking land away from people is like some beautiful, peaceful, moral act.
חלק מהבסיס של השמירה על המדינה.
אוקיי, אז איפה יהיה המדינה הפלסטינית?
Zego, nice to see you. I'm good, thank you.
תהליך שלום.
אני מבחינתי לא רוצה שתהיה מדינה פלסטינית.
אוקיי, אז מה קורה עם הפלסטינים אם לא יהיה להם מדינה?
Ice cream. People were just making Hitler jokes on that fucking thing, but the problem is when a lot of people make Hitler jokes on TikTok, they are probably people who fucking like Hitler because the platform is insane. Hot dog time, thank you. Look, this is the kind of stuff that can protect my legs.
צריך למצוא איזה דרך, אין לי דרך כרגע, אם היה לי רעיון הייתי אומר, אבל אין לי דרך.
It's also like, you know what? It's very simple for Israel to find some kind of way forward, which is to just destroy all of their settlements, like to just get rid of them. If they really wanted it, give Palestinians some little fucking dog shit two-state solution where Palestinians are under some dictatorial regime, but they have some form of peace where Israel doesn't steal their land. That's not even fucking acceptable to the Israeli government. What's the T? What's the T? Don't watch Game of Thrones. I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones. I'll watch all of it. Genuine question. What does Chai mean? Oh, live.
מוצאים לנכון שכרגע הם נמצאים בהם תחת יהודה ושומרון עם אחריות שלהם, אבל מדינה אני לא מאמין שצריכה להיות להם מדינה, לפחות לא בשלב הזה.
למה?
לדעתי הם צריכים לעבור איזה שלב של התפתחות כדי להבין שהרג ומלחמה וטרור הוא לא שלב שיכול לנצח זה לא שלב מנצח. שהם יפנימו את זה אולי יהיה סיכוי לדבר איתם על זה.
Oh god, like this guy is deranged.
How can you say Israel wants peace when Israel government expanded the settlements during the peace process? The woman on the side is nodding. I have a problem.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I think the people of Israel want peace their own way, and not the government and the settlements doesn't represent the.
But the problem is the government keeps on being elected. Like they gave them Gaza. We see how it went. Well, did you give them Gaza or did you control everything about it? Did Israel control everything about the Gaza Strip and not allow life to flourish? They kept people in a heinous situation there where they were under a state of occupation, and yet you're saying they were given a state, that they were given some kind of awesome state?
The people of Israel represents a part.
Don't worry, Zego. It's nice to see you back.
And yes, I believe most of us want peace. Yes.
But did it bother you that during Oslo, let's say 20 years ago, they were expanding settlements? Yes, 20 years ago. They were expanding around Jerusalem. Does that bother you? Did it bother you?
Well, I was had my hopes up with the peace process, but that's over now. And I think we all want peace. We just don't know how to achieve it. And with our enemies, it seems like we'll never. After the 7th of October, I'm very pessimistic. They don't want peace. They just want to murder us. That's all.
Like, listen to this. They don't want peace. They just want to murder us. When have you ever given them anything but murder and oppression? All of these people who are now talking about, like, the Intifada, the Second Intifada became militarized because Israel responded increasingly violently. Send H3 foot fungi to the dungeons and fund the PC. Exactly.
Hamas and the Muslims who are extremists, they want to murder us. That's all they want, in a very brutal and barbaric way. And so I think that there will never be peace because we have no partner for peace. I used to think otherwise, but after the 7th of October, that's what I think. Okay?
I love how these people are like, after the 7th of October. What do you think fucking Palestinians think? What do you think Palestinians think after every massacre? It's like all of these things of like, oh, this organization can't exist anymore. The Israeli government, because of Zionism, facilitated a humongous massacre of of Palestinians in Lebanon, in Sabra and Shatila, and they got to go on existing. In fact, they elected the man responsible as their fucking prime minister who oversaw the second intifada. I am sorry you can sit there and say that that is as violent as you want, but Ariel Sharon sparked the second intifada. The guy was responsible for killing 3,500 people.
Do you want to say?
Thank you, Eliza. Well, you know, some people think it's funny that I have no legs due to my PC heating up.
Something about the contradiction between saying you want peace and the settlements?
Well, it's pretty obvious to me. Israel wants to expand itself, and it doesn't come with peace. There is no peace.
Okay, so you're saying there's no peace when you expand.
What do you mean, tried to create a secular solution? The first intifada was secular. The first intifada's leadership was predominantly like random people in the camps. If you want to read something about this, there's something called Rema Hamimi, Hijab and the Intifada, which talks about something, women, the hijab and the Intifada. I think it's freely available on Merip. Shout out Merip. I think it actually runs out of Exeter University. But yeah, they talk about the hijab during the first intifada, and they actually talk about it as a failure of the first intifada. It's a really interesting story though, and like how they eventually got rid of it. But yeah, I see your Dota copy pasta, Chris. What Dota copy pasta?
And settlements.
As long as you expand the settlements, no.
Okay.
And if we don't expand settlements anymore, you think there will be peace? You think Hamas wants to make peace with us? I don't know, but we haven't tried. We keep expanding.
ישראלים תמיד אומרים שהם רוצים שלום, אבל בזמן של אוסלו הם הרחיבו את ההתנחלויות. אז איך הם יכולים להגיד שהם רוצים כאילו שלום, אם הם עושים דבר כזה?
כי זה האדמות שלהם, תכלס. ועוד לפני קום המדינה, היהודים הגיעו לפה, וזה ארץ.
ישראלים תמיד אומרים שהם רוצים שלום, אבל בזמן של אוסלו הם הרחיבו את ההתנחלויות. אז איך הם יכולים להגיד שהם רוצים כאילו שלום, אם הם עושים דבר כזה?
כי זה האדמות שלהם, תכלס. ועוד לפני קום המדינה, היהודים הגיעו.
Just genuinely the most mental statement you can imagine. Because bottom land, it is their land. Because bottom line, it is their land. Sam Kane, please don't shout out Boom Boom Tel Aviv. It's made by a white nationalist Nazi.
היו חמולות בכל מיני מקומות, ואלה הגיעו לי פה, הבטיחו להם בהסכמים שהם מקבלים מדינה, להקים מדינה יהודית, וזה מה שהם עשו.
ואתה לא יהודי?
אני לא יהודי.
אתה דרוזי? אז זה לא שיש לך אינטרס?
לא, אין לי שום אינטרס, לא לפה ולא לפה. חוץ מזה, הם הביאו לי פה כלכלה, בנו את המדינה, עשו דברים, בוא נגיד שהם...
God, someone was asking about Israeli Druze. Don't like them now.
מאוד טובים לכל האזרחים, אם זה ערבים, אם זה דרוזים, אם זה יהודים, אם זה כל האוכלוסין. יש אנשים שלא מבינים את זה, ולא רוצים שלום, בשקט.
אתה רוצה שלום?
אני ודאי שאני רוצה.
אתה רוצה שלום עם פלסטינים?
אני רוצה שלום עם כל העולם, לא רק עם הפלסטינים. אין על מה להילחם, אפשר לחיות, הנה, הוא מוסלמי, אני דרוזי, אנחנו יושבים פה, מדברים, אוכלים, שותים, הכל טוב ויפה. יש את הקיצוניים האלה בשני הצדדים, שרוצים כל הזמן בלגן.
אתה רוצה לענות על זה? No? Good. The Israeli government expanded settlements even during the peace process. How can you say Israel wanted peace?
How can you say Israel wanted peace? Is that like a gotcha question?
Yes, not from me, from whoever asked it.
But that's not the right question to ask.
Well, hold on. First answer the question, then say which is the better question.
I don't think the settlements have anything to do with the peace process. I think...
By the way, it was literally recognized by the Reagan government in the 1980s that the settlements were the key obstacle to peace. Hold on. I want to see if there's anything in this article, because I was thinking...
Settlements is what we're entitled to as a Jewish nation.
Well, they're saying, okay, during the...
Settlements are what we are entitled to as the Jewish nation.
Slow years, the idea was the 67 borders, Palestine would be in the West Bank, and at the same time, the Israeli governments were expanding settlements. That's their point.
So why didn't they get their state in 67 then if it wasn't? Why were they not pushing for a Palestinian state when it was controlled by the Jordanians before the war?
Different question, and I asked Palestinians already.
And what are their answers?
Oh shit, I wasn't live on Twitch. I meant to say YouTube, but the link's there, so this is where it is.
They said they had no answer. But hold on, but let's get back. But how could you say you want peace?
Can you agree that Judea Samaria belongs to the Jewish nation?
The person who's asking cannot agree, no.
Okay, but it does belong to the Jewish nation, so you can't say we're settling that land.
Like, Jesus Christ, this is just an extremist. Like, this guy is just an insane extremist.
To us to begin with.
Okay, so then how do you make peace with the Palestinians who live around
they
it?
choose not to make peace with us, right? If you've been to section, what is it, C or B, where it says C.
You mean...
Why are we not allowed to enter?
Oh, A.
Yeah, excuse me, yes.
A and B.
Why are we not allowed to enter? If they want to coexist with us, why are we forbidden? How many synagogues do they have in section A?
None.
How many...
one. No, none.
No,
sorry,
exactly.
none.
How many Jews pray there?
Oh, none.
What about section B? It's
no.
half-half.
No, it's not. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Are there Jews there?
No.
There are, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Section B, no, there aren't. It's all C.
No, that's right. It's under,
It's all C.
it's under the Israeli government, right? Section.
But how can you say you want peace if you don't say that they should have a state in the West?
Have you not walked around here and see how many wonderful Israeli Arabs are living here and working in the malls? And you want to tell me that we don't want peace?
They work in the malls. The Israeli Arabs, they work in the malls. The Arabs.
They're working here freely, working around freely, sitting on the beach freely, and yet we can't even walk into our own
Yes, yes, yes. Get like in the stream. There's only half the people in here have liked it.
land without being warned that we might be prosecuted and killed if we do, and that we need military backup. Section A, we can't walk in. This is our land, but yet they can come here to get treated at the hospitals, to go shopping.
This is their... They can't walk in either.
We've been at the malls many times, and
Iran is a theocracy. It is ruled by a religious government. That's how you describe it. Theocracy is the organization of their state.
that they're also employed by Israeli companies. So how do you explain that? So who's showing that they don't want peace? Us or them?
ישראלים רוצים שלום, נכון?
בטח.
איך אפשר להגיד את זה שהם בנו התנחלויות כל השנים של התהליך שלום?
לא הבנתי מה אתה שואל? למה זה ג'ינס? חורף, קיץ.
קיץ. מה קרה?
Why are you wearing jeans? This is the kind of things that's going on in Israel.
יוטיוב. כל השנים של תהליך שלום, הם גם בנו, גם בשנות ה-80, 90, 2000, הם בנו בהתנחלויות. איך אפשר להגיד שרוצים שלום אם בונים בהתנחלויות?
זה לא סותר את זה שאנחנו רוצים שלום, אנחנו בונים בהתנחלויות, בונים בארץ ישראל.
There are countries around us that don't...
יש מדינות מסביב שלא רוצים איתנו שלום בלי שום קשר
שלום אם בונים בהתנחלויות.
זה לא סותר את זה שאנחנו רוצים שלום.
That doesn't contradict that we want peace. Like, it's kind of mad that people say this shit. Like, just listen to these people. Like, listen to these people. Boomer was saying that to me in person the other day, the Palestinians were offered a state. I can't remember the year he gave, and they rejected it. Just think about it. The whole point is that Palestinians are not rejectionists. They are the indigenous people. They do not have to accept some shitty offer where they are offered basically nothing of their own state, and they even accepted it. 22% of their historic homeland, they accepted it, and that wasn't good enough for Zionists.
אנחנו בונים בהתנחלויות, בונים בארץ ישראל. אם יש מדינות מסביב שלא רוצים איתנו שלום בלי שום קשר לאיפה אנחנו בונים, מה אנחנו רוצים? זאת המדינה שלנו, אנחנו רוצים להתיישב, וכאן אנחנו בונים.
God.
אז מה עם הפלסטינים?
I bet this guy also considers himself a fucking liberal.
לא יהיה להם מקום למדינה.
בסדר, אנחנו חייבים למצוא מדינות במקומות אחרים, זאת המדינה, מקום היחיד שיש לנו למצוא מדינה.
I bet this guy considers himself a liberal. I literally bet you any fucking money. I need to turn it down, he's speaking so fast. I don't think we want to be interviewed about this.
לא שומע. אני אסביר. לא הבנתי, מה אמרת? לא שמעתי.
שאני לא בטוחה שזה הווייב שלנו, מה שאתה הולך לשאול.
באל-ג'זירה?
כן, באל-ג'זירה, ממש.
שאולי יהיה באל-ג'זירה, כי נגד ישראל.
I love how they're asked a basic question. Like, I don't think any of them have given a succinct answer to this at all. Like, nothing succinct. The Druze guy was just like, yeah, Israel should be allowed to do it. This guy's a fucking hipster going like, hey, Israel should be allowed to settle it. It's just insane. Like, also, by the way, you know the whole picture of, like, these crazed religious fanatics? Do these people look like crazed religious fanatics? They look like the fucking Tel Aviv liberals that we constantly hear about being awesome and interested in peace.
טוב, בסדר.
אנחנו לא רוצים להצטלם אז.
ישראלים רוצים שלום, נכון? איך אתה יכול להגיד את זה אם ישראל בנה התנחלויות כל הזמן של ה-peace process, של תהליך שלום?
That's too deep.
הם חושבים שזה כאילו למשפט, תגן, נגרום בינתיים.
Listen, I think Israel has to do what Israel has to do.
It's a world! It is a world of slogans. It is not real life. This is a world of complete and utter slogans, fantasies. Has nothing to do with any reality. This is bullshit. It's just them going, Israel has to do what it has to do. Israel has a right to take these lands. What fucking right? It has no right under international law. It has no right to exist. It is a settler colony set up by the British, and these people are just like saying slogans about why they can take the land of the indigenous people. People are always like, pro-Pallies can't answer this one question, and then the question is like, who was the mayor of Jerusalem in 1997 or some bullshit. And then this is just, who was the mayor of Jerusalem in 1997? That's just a funny example, but yeah.
To exist, right? Even if it's to be in a place when you're not wanted, but that's still your place. Alright? Like, I think that's our right.
And that includes building settlements, or expanding settlements, or building, actually.
Yes. If there is...
What did he just say? What did this guy even just say? What did he say?
In a place when you're not wanted, but that's still what Israel has to do to exist.
Do you think this is the H3H3 Fan Klein meetup?
Even if it's to be in a place when you're not wanted, but that
To be in a place when you're not wanted. What?
That's still your place. All right? Like, I think that's our right.
And that includes building settlements, or expanding settlements, or building, actually.
Yes. If there is settlements, I don't think that we should give it up.
So why do you think settlements are important?
Huh?
Why do you think settlements are important?
I'm not into it like this.
Okay.
Like, I don't understand about settlements and stuff like that. I can tell
I don't understand about settlements, but they're important.
you what I think about stuff that's happening, like, you know, between Israel and Palestinians and stuff like that, but not like geography. It's not my thing.
Okay.
אתה באמת מאמין שזה יפתור כאילו את ה...
אם לא יהיו התנחלויות?
לא, עזוב את השאלה. העצם שידור שלך, עכשיו אתה מעלה משהו ליוטיוב, לצורך העניין בפוליטיקה, לא יודעת כמה אתה מבין, לא יודעת כמה אנחנו מבינים עד הסוף, מה אתה מנסה כאילו...
זה ששואל, אני מניח שזה ששואל, לפי השאלה, באמת מאמינים שישראל, אם הם היו עוזבים את ההתנחלויות, זה סימן שהם באמת רוצים שלום. וכל השאר זה סימן שהם לא רוצים שלום.
בוא אני אגיד לך משהו.
שחור או לבן.
אני אתן לך אצבע, אתה תצא כל היד שלי.
Thank you.
סבבה?
Jesus Christ. Like, you don't know what the settlements are, and you're like, yeah, we have to keep them.
לא, אבל זה לא ככה.
אני לא אתן אצבע אז. אתה לא תקבל לא את האצבע ולא את היד.
I mean, he is fucking right. Maybe if Palestinians got some justice, they would start fucking demanding more, but who blames them? Israel has done so much heinous shit to them.
אתה לא תקבל שום דבר. אם הצעתי לך משהו ואתה רוצה לקחת את הכל, לא נשאר.
אני מסבירה את זה שרק שלום בעולם יעבוד. בסלחום, רק אהבה. יהודים וערבים הם חברים, ואם יש ערבי רע, זה לא אומר שכל הערבים רעים. אותו דבר יהודים.
Good day, Chris's moustache. Big hug chat. Thank you, Sunflower Dragon. Thank you for your support as always.
היו גם יהודים שרצחו את האנשים שלהם גם מג'נונים. מה שאנשים צריכים להכניס לראש, לרס, שהערבים ויהודים הם חברים. אני יש לי חברים ערבים, חברות ערביות. אני 50% יהודיה, 50% ערבייה, למה סבא שלי סורי. כולם בני אדם.
שניהם יהודים אבל.
כולם בני אדם.
רק מסביר.
כולם בני אדם. ערבים, יהודים, ולכולם מגיע אותו זכויות שיהיה. ואסור לעשות השלכה בגלל מישהו רע על כל מגזר שלם.
אתה רוצה להגיד משהו? תור ערבי? היא אמרה הכל, הוא ערבי.
אני אומרת, מה שעכשיו טראמפ עושה, הוא רוצה להפוך את עזה לריביירה, זה הדבר הנכון. עזה צריכה...
My God! I have Arab friends. Let's turn Gaza into Dubai. Let's expel all the indigenous people there. Jesus Christ. Doesn't mention anything about the killing of Palestinians. Oh my God.
אני אומרת רק שלום, רק סלام. מה עושים ומה לא עושים, זה אני משאירה לפוליטיקאים. אבל מה שצריך להיות בעולם הזה זה רק שלום, כי זה מה שאנחנו רוצים להשאיר לילדים שלנו.
I told you, this is what I mean when people tell you that, like, fucking Israelis are interested in peace. No, they are interested in these weird fantasies of peace where it's still okay to expel the indigenous people.
Okay, so Israelis want peace. Do you agree on the side? You don't want to be filmed?
Yeah.
Israelis want peace.
Say that,
If Israelis, אני אסביר את זה בעברית, אם הממשלות הישראליות רוצים שלום, אבל למה הם בונים בהתנחלויות? And he ran away, this guy. Okay. So why did they build in the settlements all these years, during Oslo, all this time?
It's a good question. I think it depends on the definition of peace. I'm pretty left-leaning, so I'd say they don't want the same peace that I would like to have.
Okay. So you want peace with the settlements?
I would say we should reach like a certain point where we I don't know, evacuate some of them.
This is an Israeli leftist! This is an Israeli leftist! When people tell you, hey, there's this big liberal contingency. No! They are still Zionists! They believe in taking indigenous people's land.
Keep the rest. I think some of the settlements have existed for like before 48.
Sure, there were a few of them.
All of these settlements existed before 48. The Zionist project is a project of settling indigenous people's land and dispossessing them.
In the West Bank that existed before 48, that is true.
So I think
only a few, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, only a few. I think like not in Samaria, mostly.
In Judea.
More in Judea.
Yeah, around Hebron and Jerusalem.
Yeah, exactly. Gush Etzion, mostly. So I'd say probably like it's a fine line. You know.
Israeli agency, beautiful Israeli agency.
I don't want to get anyone out of their home.
Okay, but back to the central question.
Yeah.
How can you say you want peace if you're building the settlements?
Well, not the government.
I'm not the government. I have no explanation. I support what they do. I'm a leftist.
But I'm not sure that's the actual goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I don't think peace is the goal currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
יש לך מה להגיד מהצד?
אני לא הקשבתי לך.
כן, נכון. למה אומרים שישראלים רוצים שלום, אבל אתם בונים בהתנחלויות?
Like they all say true, but then say things that are completely incongruent with the concept of peace.
כל השנים, 30 שנה.
נכון.
גם שנים של אוסלו. איך אתה מסביר את זה? אתם לא רוצים שלום.
קודם כל זאת שאלה טובה. אני חושב שהדבר המרכזי שם זה שיש תמיד את עניין סוגיית הפחד. כשאתה בא ואתה רוצה לחבר שתי אוכלוסיות שהן שונות אחת מהשנייה, אתה צריך...
Well, why did you come? Why did you come as settlers if you're not willing to make peace with the indigenous people? Because that's the difference between a settler and an immigrant. An immigrant comes to join an existing polity to participate in an existing society, which, by the way, there was to some extent an existing Jewish society in Palestine. The old Yishuv, the Jewish community that actually lived there, a small minority of people. These people weren't interested in that. They were interested in doing European-style colonialism in the Middle East. It's as simple as that.
צריך להבין איך זה מתחבר. ואני חושב שהוכח בצורה מובהקת לאורך ההיסטוריה שזה לא יכול להתקיים בצורה שבה צד אחד מוותר על השטח שלו, שזה הצד הישראלי, והצד השני ממשיך ומתרחב באותו השטח, וראו את זה גם בהסכמי עבר, שזה פשוט לא עובד. עכשיו, אני חושב שאם תשאל את רוב הישראלים, הרוב הגדול שלהם, גם בין הישראלים הדתיים, אתה תבין שהגורם המרכזי שהם בעדו בהתנחלויות הוא לא דתי. הם פשוט מבינים את המשוואה הפשוטה, שאם צד אחד ממשיך להתקדם, ממשיך לגדול, אתה לא יכול לאגור אותו בפנים. אתה לא תצליח לשמור מרחב ביטחון לאנשים. ונראה לי שראינו הרבה מאוד אירועים.
I don't even know what this is word salad. Like, what is this man saying? That they should take more land to have peace? Like, what?
שבהם אוכלוסייה שהיא לאו דווקא נוטה לטרור, כן עושה טרור. זאת אומרת, יש המון אנשים שגרים בהתנחלויות כאלו ואחרות שהם אוהבי שלום, והמון אנשים.
They live illegally in Palestinian land. They do not want peace. It is all bullshit.
שהם פלסטינאים, בלי קשר לאם קיימת, לא קיימת, העם קיים או לא קיים, שהם עושים הרבה כאילו מעשה, גם ונדליזם וגם טרור. אני לא אומר שכולם, אני ממש לא מכליל.
לא, אבל איזה סוג שלום אתה רוצה אם אתה בונה?
לפני שאני מדבר על סוג שלום, אני אומר סור מרע.
אז בסדר, אני חושב שאתה צודק, אבל אני חושב שמתוך הדבר הזה נגזר שהממשלה לא מכוונת לשלום.
רק מה שאני רוצה להגיד, בשורה התחתונה, לפני שיש שלום...
I told you, it's a world of slogans and weird bullshit. I actually don't know if I can listen to much more of these two, because they're just like saying shit. Like, it's not even very coherent. There's actually something else that I wanted to watch here, which people have asked me to watch previously. I know it's a bit old now, but it's not too long. It's only 15 minutes, so we'll stick it on. God gave us Israel along the green line. Let's have a look at this.
All of Israel is our land.
I'm not gonna lie, I find this shit so weird, where people are like, there are just all these immutable characteristics of being Jewish. I think it's odd, I think it's unusual. I'm sure that there are some things that unite Jewish people culturally and historically, but I do not think that there are like all these things about like, these are the three things about being Jewish. Hello, Teddy.
With rifles at us, wanting to kill us and kill our children. Then we say, hang on a second, with two-state solution, before we can talk about the two-state solution.
Coraline character-looking lady is,
We need to say, are you willing to...
Palestinians. But since the occupation began...
It's not even anti-Semitism, it's like these things of just like... Well, most of these people are like Jewish themselves, but they're like, here are these three characteristics of being Jewish. We're all like this kind of thing. I'm not so sure that like Jewish people all are, because you meet many different Jewish people who hold very different beliefs, who feel differently, whose interpretation of their Jewish history, culture, religion, like, it creates a very different feeling to just, like, basically, no, you must all be this certain way. I don't believe it. I don't believe it about anything. I don't believe that we're all really congruent with very set and specific identities. Like, honestly, tell me more about how this is different from someone who is like a jihadi fanatic. Like, how is this different from a jihadi fanatic? She believes dead people are going to be raised if Israel destroys one of the most holy sites, where it desecrates one of the most significant religious sites in all of Islam. She believes that killing masses of people in Gaza is okay and acceptable, that oppressing millions upon millions of Palestinians and probably fucking expelling them, I bet she'll get to that, is okay. How's that fucking different from ISIS? Like, in my understanding, there's a good book about this by Daniel Boyarin called The No State Solution, and he just basically talks about, hey, this whole like hatred of diaspora and this idea that all Jewish people ever wanted to do is return, it's not really true or congruent with it, and it's just kind of like a fantastical creation by the state of Israel. Many of the rabbis in the Middle East opposed return to Palestine, Iraqi... Yeah, The Guardian might sue me. I mean, it's more just listening to what she has to say. I think I've given quite a lot of commentary anyway, but thanks for reminding me. But yeah, just here it is, like, just talking about, like, expelling people. And this is also what I was talking about. These people believe that it is an affront to God for the secular state of Israel to give back any land, to make any peace with the Palestinians. They will not have it. They have been empowered, emboldened for years. They have considerable electoral power in the state. Palestinians have to accept the destruction of Al-Aqsa. Is this not the same argument as European colonizers in Africa, that truly this should belong to us because we deserve it and it used to? It's what the fucking it's what the Italians said in Libya. The Italians said the Romans once ruled over Libya. It has now turned into like this savage backwards place. So we should have it. We should be able to kill the indigenous people and control it. It's not like some like new big thing. Listen to that, and you have people. Ethan Klein said that this was an inspiring example of coexistence in Israel proper. Realistically, East Jerusalem is in the process of being fully annexed by the state of Israel, you know? And yet you have to hear about this, you know? It's like, it's so ridiculous. Like, I do think that this is worth watching. I was wondering whether it would be, but this is, you know, I think it makes a lot of points that I talk about a lot. Hold on, sorry, someone's calling me. She's talking about here, like, look, Israeli apartheid and occupation, it affects people psychologically, physically, in terms of violence. It is heinous. It is utterly heinous. And yeah, exactly as I told you, this guy's a Muslim influencer. He can't speak in the same way that she can. But even if he could, I highly doubt that he would talk at all in the same way that she would, because she is a hateful and horrible individual. Someone who genuinely believes that she has a right, based on her religion and her ethnicity, to be supreme over another person. Interesting, like how well spoken he is versus that awful, awful individual. Hold on, I just want to pull up the clip.
What? That you're talking about how nice Israel is, but
Israel proper is different from God.
Ethan treats his employees when they dare to confront him.
Authorities block healthcare to Gaza. Again, I'm not. Do you think that I'm talking about walking around Gaza when I say how great multicultural it is?
Great multicultural. There are the words of Ethan Klein. This is great and multicultural to him. Shall we watch another, or shall I go back to talking about some other things? Because I've got a lot of things to talk about, and I don't know how much time to talk about them. A lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe it's not smart to do this today. I'll be streaming again tomorrow, so I guess we can do it tomorrow. Yeah, you know what? I'll do it tomorrow. So I wanted to talk about this fucking statement. Here's the UK's foreign minister talking about fucking Israel attacking Iran.
Well, it was important to come from Washington, D.C. this morning and to be here with my European colleagues and to have these discussions with Iran. We were clear. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
But why can Israel? Like, this is just... Loads of people were like, what is the justification for Israel having a nuclear weapon? What is the justification? And it's like, for Iran having a nuclear weapon. It's like, hey, because Israel is governed by religious fanatics. And it's just, yeah, it's just utterly ridiculous.
And the E3 in Europe have been clear for many years that that cannot happen. We are keen to continue ongoing
sleep well, Hyper J.
discussions and negotiations with Iran, and we urge Iran to continue their talks with the United States.
But he's not mentioning Israel. He will not mention Israel.
This is a perilous moment, and it is hugely important that we don't see regional escalation of this conflict.
But only Iran?
And indeed, the issues that would cause for all of us, but also for people at home worried about cost of living at this time.
What? Like, honestly, this is just the point we're at. We're like and this is why I told you, just don't believe any of the things they're saying about like changes happening, like any of this stuff. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Like, it's just utter bullshit, you know? Like, no mention of what Israel does, no mention of any of these things. Literally just defend Israel with everything that we have. And I know you said you were tired of the Zionist propaganda, but I just saw something that I'd like to watch. The one reason Iran can't let Israel
As I sat
exist.
in our bomb
I hope the guy
shelter.
who always asks me to watch Unpacked is happy about this, because I have to see what they're saying here. And it's pretty fucking topical as well, from an idiotic Zionist propaganda channel.
waiting for the hundreds of Iranian drones and missiles headed for Israel, I had one simple question. Why does Iran hate Israel? If I was making a likely list of Israel's enemies, Iran wouldn't be at the top. Just look at
Voldemort. Israeli humor.
this map. Israel's wars were primarily fought against its direct neighbors. Iran is on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula. Also, the Palestinians are Arab. All of Israel's neighbors who fought wars against Israel, Arab. But Iran, they're Persians, not Arabs. Most of Israel's Muslim neighbors are Sunni. Palestinian Muslims are Sunni. But Iran, Shia. And the Sunni and Shia, they haven't
They're Sunni. I was sitting in my bomb shelter in Sunni having a burger.
exactly gotten along for, well, almost 1,500 years. And on top of all of that, for over 30 years, Iran and Israel were allies, which might feel like ancient history, but at the end of the episode, we'll get a glimpse of how that history could make a comeback. So why does Iran hate Israel so much? The simple answer is that Iran wants power. Power against the West, or the Saudis, or Taylor Swift fans. Okay, I haven't heard the Swifties one, but I hate that explanation.
God, Israeli humor.
Working on this episode, I wanted to find answers that went beyond the simplistic. So my deep dive into Iran's hatred of Israel led me to 6 reasons why these former friends became
Iran and the West, imperialism, regional politics, global vision, westernization.
First is Iran's hatred of the West. Let's back it up. Check out this footage of people partying back in the 70s. Normal, right? Except these are Iranians and Israelis partying in Iran. See, shortly after Israel's independence in 1948, things were pretty chill between Iran and Israel. Iran was actually the second Muslim-majority country to recognize Israel. They collaborated on trade, and Israel's national airline had daily, non-stop flights.
Did you know Israel also sold them weapons in What happened to you? I grew a moustache. But yeah, it's just like, well, was that good for most Iranians? Or what was that? Was that a dictatorial monarchy, an authoritarian monarchy making a relationship with Israel when most Iranians didn't feel that way about imperialism?
Between Tel Aviv and Tehran.
Huh? What?
How'd that happen? Well, even though Iran was a Muslim-majority country, it was run by a secular dictator, and the Shah was a big fan of Western values, like education, women's rights, religious freedom.
He was also a big fan of Hitler. Reza Shah Pahlavi, Shah and Shah of Iran, with the best wishes. So he was given a signature of Hitler. I'll show you. Why is it so fucking zoomed in? There you go. He had a signed photo of Hitler.
Freedom, but not a big fan of other Western values, like democracy, freedom of the press, not...
Oh, Jesus Christ. He was literally just backed up by the state of Israel.
Jailing and torturing dissidents, and yet his iron-fisted rule of Iran was propped up by Western countries, which made the West very unpopular with Iranians who didn't like the Shah, and in the 1970s, that population was growing. Then came the tipping point. In 1979, a popular uprising known as the Islamic Revolution swept through the country. The Shah was out, and an Islamic cleric known as the Ayatollah was in, establishing the Islamic Republic of Iran. Okay, so given that history, I can totally understand why Iran's a little bit wary of Western influence, you know, with how the West supported the Shah despite his brutal policies. And I get why Israel might get lumped in with all of that. But I was still left with the question,
Israel might get lumped in it. Also, thank you, Chocky, for becoming a member. Shout out. Thank you so much. But yeah, also, like, why Israel might get lumped in with that. Because it's a settler colony set up by Britain that has been entirely reliant on... fucking American backing. Bro got the Funko Pop signed. I mean, I don't think you're wrong there.
Why does Iran have this special focus on Israel? The Islamic Republic of Iran wasn't just annoyed with the West's interference in internal politics. An important part of Ayatollah Khomeini's movement was to oppose Western imperialism more generally and push for the establishment of Islamic states ruled by Sharia law. And where's the front line of the battle against Western imperialism? Israel. Iran sees Israel as the first step taken by Western countries to take over the entire region and destroy Islam. It's just a smaller version of the big...
That's also some pretty dog shit analysis, because it wouldn't be seen as the first. The invasion into the Middle East by Western powers began before the State of Israel. It's just a key facet of it because it was a backed up, propped up settler colonial project.
Bigger imperialist problem posed by the US and other countries. Khomeini even had cute nicknames for Iran's new enemies. He called the US the Great Satan and Israel
Shaitani Bozorg,
the Little Satan. So if
Shaitani Kuchuk.
Israel is the first foothold of the West's imperialist expansion, there's a logic to Iran wanting to put the kibosh on the Jewish state before things got out of hand.
Now I'm gonna put the kibosh on you.
And this narrative totally ignores the Jewish...
This is literally edited like a fucking FIFA YouTube video where it's like epic funny clips.
Narrative that Israel is not anyone's colony, but rather an indigenous people reclaiming their homeland. For Israelis and their supporters around the world, they see Israel...
Now I'm gonna put the kibosh on you.
And this narrative totally ignores the Jewish narrative that Israel is not anyone's...
This wasn't the narrative! This was not the narrative for the longest time. This is totally fucking made up. This was not the narrative. You are just saying these things. You are just saying these things now. It's a complete and utter fantasy.
Colony, but rather an indigenous people reclaiming their homeland. For Israelis and...
Oh god, yeah, ignore the narrative because it's bullshit.
And their supporters around the world, they see Israel as a successful example of decolonization.
No one actually sees this as it. It is literally, just as the settler colonial project has increasingly been seen as unacceptable because taking land off the indigenous people is wrong and immoral and unjustified. You know, they have increasingly tried to claim this decolonization stuff. They didn't care about that. They didn't see it as fucking decolonization then. Chaim Weizmann wrote to the British and told them, don't call us fucking natives. They said, don't call us natives.
Jewish returned to their ancient, tiny slice of homeland after it was colonized by Rome 2,000 years ago.
After it was colonized by Rome 2,000 years ago.
Return that was begrudgingly supported by the West in the wake of the Holocaust and after a Jewish rebellion.
It was supported before the Holocaust.
Against British imperialists.
They rebelled against the British because they kept preventing them from taking more and more. There were certain points at which the British would tell them, hey, slow down, because we need to take on these Palestinians who are going to fight back. The Palestinians would have crushed the Zionist project without the British.
But for now, Iran would prefer to agree to disagree. But I want to go beyond this whole imperialism thing and look at how Iran's hatred of Israel plays a part in regional politics. Because it's not all just about the Satan brothers.
Really bad.
Let's zoom out and look at the overall power dynamics in the Middle East. Remember, Iran went through an Islamic revolution, and Islam has two main camps that don't get along.
White boy caught a vibe speaking a little Farsi. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Hold on. I love how his map of Israel doesn't include any of Palestine. It's literally just a violation of international law.
Dynamics in the Middle East. Remember.
Oh no, is that the West Bank cut out? I don't know.
Islamic revolution. And Islam has two main camps that don't get along. On one side are the Sunni, and on the other are the minority Shia. Not clear on the differences? That's okay. Lots of non-Christians don't understand the difference between Catholics and Protestants, and that didn't stop them from fighting 3 centuries of wars. Nobody understands this! But in short, after Muhammad's death, there was a power struggle between Muhammad's cousin and a group of political leaders called the Caliphs. The Sunnis went with the Caliphs, while the Shia went with Muhammad's cousin, and they haven't exactly gotten along since then. Today, the Shia make up only
It's also just, by the way, these Sunni-Shia dynamics that people talk about, not really as big as everyone made out for a very long time. Of course, there have been conflicts and different discussions and disdain, but in terms of like not getting on in the way that people portray it now, bullshit.
About 10% of all Muslims around the world.
And also, trying to understand this without the context of Western imperialism is fucking stupid, because who are the like key Sunni players that people talk about in the Islamic Arab Cold War, Middle East Cold War? Well, one are the Saudis and the UAE, dictatorships close with the West, and the other ones are Iran, who are far from the West.
So Iran is Shia, a minority group within Islam that doesn't get much love. And after the Islamic Revolution, they had lost all their Western backing. In order for the new Iran to survive, the Ayatollah needed to make some friends, and fast. And rule number 1 in international politics is, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Cue everyone's favorite scapegoat.
Hello, everybody. Jew!
Khomeini saw the fight against Israel as a way to unite Shia and Sunni Muslims, giving Iran the next
God, this is literally made for people who are the stupidest people in the entire fucking world.
best thing to credibility with other governments.
Street cred.
Which ultimately helped give Iran a
It is actually edited. Like, it is genuinely edited like a fucking FIFA YouTube video playing like fucking epic clips.
foothold in the region. Using Israel as a common enemy, Iran has successfully built a network of allies among states and militant groups across the Middle East.
But also because it is Iran will always be like, hey, we want to bring justice to the world and all of these things. And so one of these things that it will do is be like, hey, Israel is a really good example of this horrendous actions of the West, you know.
But while the Islamic Revolution wanted to unite the Muslim world, it ended up mostly doing the opposite, exacerbating divides between Shiites and Sunnis. See, the Sunni dictatorships out there aren't exactly on board with some Persian Shiites leading the Arab Muslim world. They're mostly into pan-Arabism, which not only puts Sunnis in the majority, but closes the door on the non-Arab Iranian Shia. But now that we've zoomed in, let's zoom back out all the way, because Iran has big plans. The Islamic Revolution isn't just for Iran, it's for the whole world. Here's a few choice quotes from the Ayatollah that I came across. "We shall export our revolution to the whole world. Until the cry 'there is no God but Allah' resounds over the whole world, there will be struggle. Establishing the Islamic State worldwide belongs to the great goals of the revolution."
Dream big.
But if every journey begins with a single step, Israel has kind of tied Iran's shoelaces together. From the Iranian perspective,
God, I hate this this is propaganda made for babies.
Israel has played a
I agree totally with your statement.
major role in blocking its goal to globalize the revolution. And here I'm going to paraphrase something
Recreating top 10 Ronaldo goals in Israel.
I heard from Israeli journalist Haviv Rettig Gur in a podcast
This guy is a fucking idiot. He's a little worm as well.
from the Free Press, link in description. Gur said that in the Iranian narrative, for over 2,000 years, the Jews were the weakest people on earth. After all, they're the little Satan. And as a first step to conquer the West, Islam must first conquer the West's weakest link, Israel.
Its problem with Israel is that Islam tried and failed to destroy Israel.
Now, I would think that Sunnis could also get behind Islam's domination of the world. And
Like, also, you are just completely ignoring the oppression of the Palestinians. Like, where is this part of it? Like, there is literally no part of this which discusses the oppression of the Palestinians.
plus years ago, apparently I would have been right, because for decades, Sunni states quietly supported radical jihadists bent on world domination. But what I learned is that with the writing on the wall for economies that rely on oil, Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states have seriously cut down on the demonization of the West.
Saudi Arabia was involved in backing jihadists in fucking Syria. Undeniably, Saudi Arabia was involved in getting up to that kind of shit. And they have no problem with backing despicable dictatorships. So, you know, I'm sure this is bullshit what he's about to say.
And in many ways, those states are seeing their own cultural westernization, something Iran is definitely not on board with.
And also, what is their cultural westernization? They're fucking horrifying dictatorships.
We talked about Iran's beef with the West, the US, Israel, Europe, and all those jerks who know Latin phrases, pretend to like opera, and wear suits and ties. And yes, Iranians don't wear ties because ties are Western. That's because Iran isn't just pissed about Western power, it's pissed about Western culture, which in many ways we Jews should be able to...
No, because this is another problem. What westernization and like the Western culture and values bleeding into Iranian society, it was seen as a facet of dominance. It was seen as a facet of dominance, and people began to associate decadence, the failures of Iran, with westernization.
Identify with, because some of our most formative centuries were spent fighting Western culture. First Greek culture, and then Roman culture. But unlike most cultures that lost their battle with the West, we survived by adapting. Go AE Pi. But Iran's not on board with that.
Did you survive it by adapting? What did European culture do to you as the culmination of it? What was the culmination of European culture towards Jewish people? The fucking Holocaust?
Because to them, Western culture and Islam are oil and water. One central example of this has been Western-style promiscuity, aka women's rights. Several waves of protests have hit Iran in recent years, as Iranian women protest against laws forcing them to wear hijab. The regime has cracked down violently on these protests.
What about Palestinian women when they protest? What happens to Palestinian women when they protest?
Of trying to spread promiscuity in Iran. Women in Iran are also banned from singing or dancing in...
I don't know if you're saying uh-oh in response to what I just said, but like these people who are just sat here going like, European culture and Jewish people did so well out of it. What are you talking about? Like, I read this thing that was by I can't remember her name. It's called Whites, Jews and Us by an author. It's a brilliant book, very, very good, by an Algerian author. And she's like, why do you want to be dhimmis of fucking like a Trump and his backers who say that they're your biggest friends but have no problem hanging out with like white nationalist fucking Nazis? Like, why do you want to be friends with that? Like, why is that what you want?
in public, and their freedom can be restricted in many ways by their husbands. Israel, with its Western values like freedom and democracy and rights for women, is a giant Western thorn in Iran's side, which is just one more reason why Iran hates Israel. And while I've known about the
It's also just so mad to say these things when Israel is like a despicable dictatorship that just does these things to Palestinians, predominantly Muslim population.
culture wars for a long time, the next issue is one I only learned about in preparing for this episode: justice. What I learned is that Shiite Muslims believe strongly in a concept called adl, or justice. So much so that it's counted among the pillars of faith for them. Now, in the past, Shiites were resigned to the idea that justice could never be achieved on earth until the return of the Mahdi, a sort of messianic figure. From what I understand, this
God, this guy, this is slop. This is slop. You should be arrested. This guy has engaged in far too much slop. This guy should be writing, like, stupid articles for BuzzFeed, not making shit like this.
wait for justice approach developed in the wake of Shia defeats in the early Sunni-Shia conflict. Kind of similar to how militarism was largely beaten out of Jewish identity by the Romans after the last great Jewish revolt. But the Ayatollah decided to push for justice now, even before the coming of the Mahdi. For the Islamic Revolution, justice means actively supporting the oppressed against the oppressor. And the oppressor here goes way beyond just the Shah, who they overthrew. Even before the Islamic Revolution, Khomeini supported and trained Shia terrorist groups, and even the Sunni Palestinians. Iran's message of justice found a receptive audience among Muslims around the world, living under sometimes brutal dictatorships. This
Would you not say that, like, a message of justice against brutal dictatorships is, like, a good thing? Like, is that your argument? That, like, you have a problem with brutal dictatorships and, like, people fighting against them, Western-backed brutal dictatorships?
This commitment to justice found universal appeal among both Sunnis and Shia, bringing together disparate groups in the bigger vision of Islam's reign spreading around the world. And while I think a lot of us could get behind this idea of justice, Iran's brand of justice isn't exactly what most of us have in mind. I mean, capital punishment for homosexuals, subjugation of women.
But also, like, what does Israel have? Capital punishment for basically Palestinians who do anything wrong, not allowing them to speak freely and not allowing all of these, not allowing basically anything for Palestinians.
Or how about the fact that Iran supports these guys, the Houthis, who literally brought back slavery to Yemen? Okay, so regardless of its source, Iran's hatred for Israel is deep and dangerous. But it's really important to point out the difference between the Iranian government and the Iranian people. Many everyday Iranians have been speaking out in support
Elie Kalabon has never lived in Iran! Elie Kalabon has never lived in Iran! Elie Kalabon has never ever lived in Iran. She grew up in the UK and is an attorney in America. Watch my video about how. Great video.
To the Iranian regime. These are really brave voices.
But also, by the way, you will find Iranians who speak up against it. But, like, I look at my friend's post now. People who are, like, heavily against the Islamic regime, who grew up there, who despise it, who have experienced it. But what they will fucking say is not like, hey, we love getting bombed by Israel and that's, like, an awesome good thing. You know? Like, they don't say this kind of crap. They talk about, like, hey, we don't want this. We want freedom and justice that isn't just Israel blowing us to pieces. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
The one reason that Iran can't let Israel exist.
What's this? How the US and Iran became arch nemesis. God, I can't watch any more slop. Right, there's probably the most important thing that I'd wanted to talk about all stream is right, here you go. B-2 bombers flying across Pacific as Trump deliberates on strike on Iran. Multiple B-2 stealth Spirit bombers were making their way west over the Pacific Ocean on Saturday, according to a US official familiar with the issue. Basically, things are not looking too promising. I think that quite soon America is going to join in the assault on Israel. Sorry, on Iran. I think with Israel on Iran. I hope that they joined an assault on Israel. Hopefully. Apparently as well, according to Mensch OSINT, US have just evacuated their embassy staff from Tel Aviv. So, could be that the strike is carried out tonight. Sorry. I'm just checking if there's any updates on this, but yeah. I think it's quite plausible that they will attack this weekend. I think that it is quite plausible that there will be an attack this weekend. Numerous Pentagon officials have referred questions about the flights to the White House, which could not immediately be reached for comment. Alleged killing of Iranian liaison won't impact Hamas in short terms, analysts say. Flight data and audio recordings give details of B-2 mission. As the 8 tankers turned over Whiteman and began to head west, each following the same route, publicly available air traffic control radio under the call Nitro to conduct aerial refueling for aircraft. Yeah, they're going to do it. Signed Mighty, the Mighty call. I mean, I don't want to predict this again. I don't want to predict this last time, but yeah. I don't know. The only bombers housed at Whiteman are stealth bombers flown by Air Force's 509th Bomb Wing and the Air National Guard's 131st Bomb Wing. According to official military website, open source flight tracking experts online said the combination of the refueling convoy, the Mighty call sign, and the presence of B-2 bombers at Whiteman indicated that the movements were associated with the B-2s. Shortly after passing Whiteman, blah, 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 blah. So, the B-2 bomber is the only Air Force that can deploy massive ordnance penetrator. I wonder if they'll use a Moab. Like, would a Moab even... Probably not, actually. You know what? I'm not even going to bother guessing. Because the last time a Moab was used, it was bullshit. It was utter bullshit. They used it on, like, Islamic State in Khorasan. Like, a really small offshoot of ISIS that wasn't, like, major or anything. Like, yeah, it's utterly ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous.
Just report.
Here's Steve Bannon, one of Trump's favorite extremists.
But there's others. I'm just reporting what I'm hearing from pretty good sources. The party is on.
So he's basically saying that there will be a strike on Iran. Seemingly, the party is on. What a horrible fucking way to phrase it. What an utterly despicable thing to say. I had something else interesting about B-2 bombers.
That Iran is building a nuclear weapon. Your intelligence community has said they have...
Like, look at this. This is also mad. A few months ago, Tulsi Gabbard said, hey, Iran isn't doing this, and now listen to this.
Nuclear weapon. Your intelligence community has said they have no evidence that they are at this point.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong. Who in the intelligence community said that?
Your director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
She's wrong.
And there was a... There was this article as well. But they have been saying it for months, back during when they were bombing Yemen. I mean, indeed they were saying stuff like this. But what I believe that is different this time is that basically this time the US is looking at it. Fordow is the only base, the nuclear plant, which cannot be destroyed by Iran. Like, it cannot be destroyed by Israel. It just doesn't have the requisite stuff. However, this article is very interesting. It's from Open Democracy by Paul Rogers. I don't know Paul Rogers. So what they talk about here is that... He talks about it here. Where is it? So it's mentioned basically here. Israel is running out of anti-missile systems, so that's worrying. Like, Israel is struggling more and more to intercept Iranian missiles, and I don't think Iran has used up many. I don't think Iran would have fired 500 if it only had 2,000 missiles, a quarter of its missiles, so quickly. I don't know if they would plausibly do that so fast. I liked your comment as well, Mohammed Saad. It's funny. I just wanted to see if I could find it. Also, this is mad. I didn't realize like the amount of presence of US troops in fucking Israel. But there's where is this? It is in here. Here you go. One development this week that could significantly change the shape of the conflict, though. It has been widely reported that the US has a conventional weapon capable of destroying Iran's Fordo facility. That is now in doubt, with officials in the Pentagon reportedly questioning whether even the US 13.6 ton GBU-57 bomb would be powerful enough. It's from this article by The Guardian. There's also quite an interesting thing here. Like, listen to this. Oh, where's this? Oh, I can't see what I was looking for. Alright, guys. I guess I need to go, so it remains to be seen. I will be back tomorrow for another stream. I won't be live on TikTok because I'm fucking banned. But anyway, have a lovely rest of the evening. And this time I will finally say thank you for everything and see you later.